Javanese philosophy describes a unique divine office, the pamong. These are more than mere servants. They are celestial guides placed on earth to act as the living, breathing inner conscience for the powerful leaders who shape the world. Among them is Kyai Togog. His divine assignment is a grueling one, only to have his words consistently ignored by the very men he is meant to save. Eventually, the weight of being ignored breaks him. Togog abandons his post. He uses his latent divine magic to transform into a towering, handsome king named Prabu Tejabirawa. He builds his own empire and begins tearing through the landscape, carving a massive highway that displaces thousands of villagers. By assuming the crown, Togog effectively flips his cosmic role. The voice meant to restrain power has instead become the force driving it, trading a lifetime of unheard whispers for a throne that demands total obedience. The kingdom of Amarta dispatches the knight Arjuna to halt this destructive expansion. Renowned for his wealth, his martial skill, and his physical beauty, Arjuna arrives on the scene as the quintessential hero, stepping in to restore order. However, the tyrant Tejabirawa recognizes a crack in the hero's armor. Instead of fighting, he appeals to Arjuna's vanity and his unresolved desire for the Princess Bhanuwati. The bribe works instantly. The world's most perfect knight abandons his mission to ally himself with the very man he was sent to stop. When his own pamong, the stout and unsightly Kyai Semar, attempts to correct him, Arjuna snaps. He treats the god as a nuisance, claiming that a knight of his standing, blessed with power and beauty, no longer needs the meddling advice of a lowly peasant. This double rejection leaves the world in a state of total moral collapse. The giant kings have lost their guide to ambition, and the heroes have traded their conscience for ego, leaving raw power to roam the earth without a leash. Despairing over his failure to guide Arjuna, Semar flees the earth. He ascends to the highest heaven to face the supreme god, Sanghyang Padawenang, and begs for permission to resign his post. The supreme god refuses, citing cosmic equilibrium. Earthly power without moral guidance invites disaster. To prevent ruin, the caretaker must remain. Since the peasant's voice is ignored, Semar is granted a temporary, powerful form, a handsome knight named Bambang Dewakasimpar. Dewakasimpar descends to the battlefield and immediately provokes Arjuna's jealousy. When the prideful knight attacks, Dewakasimpar meets him with superior force, utterly defeating him in combat and forcing him to acknowledge a power and beauty far greater than his own. Semar speaks the only language the arrogant can understand. By dismantling Arjuna's physical confidence, the caretaker successfully bypasses the knight's armor of vanity to reach the conscience buried beneath it. With Arjuna humbled, Dewakasimpar turns his attention to the tyrant, Prabu Tejabirawa. He steps directly into the path of the tyrant's highway to halt the destruction once and for all. The two disguised gods collide. They unleash a storm of magic and physical force that shakes the foundations of the earth, as neither being is able to gain a decisive advantage over the other. The sheer intensity of the conflict breaks the illusions. As their energy is spent, the handsome masks of the king and the knight fall away. In the middle of the battlefield, the world sees the truth. The tyrant is actually the monstrous Togog, and the hero is the short, rounded Semar. The glamour of power and physical perfection prove to be temporary. Under enough pressure, the magical disguises vanished, leaving the two divine guides standing in their true, unvarnished shapes. Exhausted, Togog reveals why he abandoned his post. He admits he simply wanted to experience his own commands being followed, rather than spending eternity as a voice everyone ignored. Semar explains this corruption. As a leader indulges their desires, they grow numb, silencing their inner guide. Yet the law of the pamong remains. The guide is forbidden from going silent. The conscience must maintain its steady, inescapable pulse. Semar views his role as an act of grueling endurance. It is the thankless work of providing a moral anchor in a storm of corruption, holding steady even when the world refuses to listen. With the highway project halted and order restored, Semar returns to his role as a servant. For his reward, he claims Princess Sutiragan as his wife, a request the king finds both absurd and repulsive. To the king's shock, the princess agrees.
She reveals that she is the earthly incarnation of Semar's divine wife, Dewi Kanastren, who had been waiting for the god to find her. To keep the families bound together, Kanastren arranges for her adopted sister to marry the newly humbled Arjuna, ensuring the hero remains under the close supervision of his guide. This marriage creates a permanent shift in the hierarchy. Because Arjuna is now married to the sister of Semar's wife, the elite prince is bound by family tradition to call the rounded, ugly peasant Kakang, or older brother. This title serves as a constant reminder that the most profound wisdom often hides behind the most unassuming faces.